The sun had barely risen when the peace of my new neighborhood was shattered by an insistent knock at my door. It was 8 a.m. on a Saturday, a time I planned to spend unpacking boxes and settling into my new home. Standing on my porch was a woman in her late 40s. Her jet black hair pulled into a tight ponytail that screamed, "I'm in charge." She gripped a clipboard like it was a shield, her eyes scanning me with barely concealed disdain. "You don't belong here," she snapped, her voice dripping with self-appointed authority. "This is an upscale community with strict standards. I need proof of your ownership now." Still half asleep and clutching my coffee mug, I blinked in confusion. "I'm sorry, who are you?" I managed to ask. "I'm Linda Marshall, president of the Crestview Heights Homeowners Association," she declared, each syllable delivered like a royal proclamation. "And you're far too young to own a home in this neighborhood. Our covenants ensure a certain caliber of resident." Before I could explain that I just moved in a week ago, she cut me off. "Spare me the excuses. I've already started the eviction process. You have 30 days to leave, or you'll face legal consequences." She shoved a piece of paper into my hands. "Consider this your official notice." I stood there, stunned, as she turned on her heel and marched away. The notice shook in my hand as I tried to process what had just happened. What Linda didn't know was that I owned this house outright, paid in full with no mortgage. Her accusations weren't just rude, they were dangerously close to illegal. My name is Ethan, and at 27, I'd achieved what many thought impossible, buying my first home debt-free. It was a long road to get here. After college, I worked as a freelance graphic designer, living with my parents for 5 years to save every dime. I skipped vacations, drove a beat-up car, and invested my earnings wisely when a charming 2-bedroom in Crestview Heights hit the market at a steal thanks to its dated shag carpet and wood-paneled walls. I jumped at the chance. The seller, a retired couple moving cross-country, wanted a fast sale. My all-cash offer sealed the deal. No banks or loans required. Within a month, I had the keys and a clean title in my name. But instead of a warm welcome, I got suspicious glances from neighbors. Linda, it turned out, had crowned herself the neighborhood's gatekeeper, and a single guy in his 20s didn't match her vision of Crestview's ideal resident. From the day my moving van pulled up, I caught her watching from her front lawn, snapping photos with her phone and muttering to herself. I tried to shrug it off, focusing on stripping the hideous wallpaper and updating the mustard yellow kitchen cabinets. I figured she'd get over it once she saw I was a quiet, responsible homeowner. I couldn't have been more wrong. The harassment started 3 days after I moved in. First came the notes, printed on official-looking HOA letterhead, claiming my mailbox wasn't regulation size and my hedges were unkempt. I trimmed them the day before. Then Linda began her drive-by patrols, her silver sedan creeping past my house at all hours, her phone camera aimed at my property. One note demanded I remove unauthorized exterior decorations. I had none. Another claimed my car was illegally parked in my own driveway. The absurdity peaked when I overheard Linda gossiping with a neighbor. "He's probably running some shady business," she said loudly as they passed my house. "How else could someone his age afford this place?" I've reported him to the police for suspicious activity. 2 weeks after her first visit, a thick envelope appeared in my mailbox. Inside was a notice of noncompliance, alleging I violated HOA bylaws by being under 50, a supposed age restriction for Crestview homeowners. It demanded I vacate within 30 days or face eviction. This was ridiculous. I'd read every HOA document before buying, and Crestview was a standard suburban community, not a senior living complex. I called my real estate lawyer, who laughed. When I read him the notice, "She's fabricating rules," he said, "This is harassment, and if she's filing false documents, it's fraud. Start documenting everything." That night, I installed security cameras around my property. If Linda wanted a fight, I'd be ready. The tipping point came 4 days later when Linda showed up with 2 HOA board members, one of whom was my neighbor across the street, looking visibly uneasy. "We're here for a property inspection," Linda announced, trying to step into my house. I blocked the doorway. "You need a warrant or formal permission for that," I said firmly. Her face turned crimson. "As HOA president, I have full authority," she barked. I held my ground. "You have authority to enforce real bylaws, not made-up ones. Show me the age restriction in the covenants." I pulled out my phone, displaying the HOA bylaws PDF. "Go ahead, point it out." The neighbor across the street shifted uncomfortably. "Linda, I've lived here 10 years. There's no age rule. Linda doubled down. It's a new amendment, passed last month. I raised an eyebrow. Amendments require a 2/3 homeowner vote. I never got a ballot. Did you? I asked the other board members. Their silence spoke volumes. Now, please leave my property, I said, holding up my phone. This conversation is being recorded. Audio and video. Linda's eyes widened, but she stormed off, muttering, "This isn't over." She was right, but not in the way she thought. The next day, a county eviction notice was taped to my door. My stomach dropped until I noticed the formatting errors and called the county clerk. The document was fake, filed under Linda's name with forged credentials claiming she was a county official. The clerk was alarmed and connected me to the district attorney's office. "This is serious," they said. "Filing fraudulent legal documents is a crime." I compiled my evidence, the fake HOA notices, security footage of Linda trespassing, the forged eviction notice, and messages from neighbors who faced similar harassment. The DA's office launched an investigation, and what they found was jaw-dropping. Linda had run the HOA like her personal fiefdom for years, inventing rules, issuing unauthorized fines, and siphoning HOA funds for personal use. Board meetings were a sham, with falsified minutes and forged signatures. She bullied other homeowners with threats of eviction, targeting anyone who didn't fit her mold. A search of her home uncovered files on every resident, filled with illegally obtained personal data and templates for fake legal documents. Her computer revealed she'd been forging financial reports to cover her embezzlement. 3 weeks later, I was working from home when I heard sirens. Peering out my window, I saw police escorting Linda from the HOA office in handcuffs. "This is outrageous," she yelled as neighbors gathered. "I was protecting our community from riffraff. You'll regret this when your property values tank." No one defended her. Instead, applause rippled through the crowd as she was loaded into the patrol car at the next HOA meeting. The atmosphere was transformed. Neighbors welcomed me, some apologizing for not challenging Linda sooner. The new interim president, a retired attorney, asked me to join the board to help revise the bylaws and prevent future abuses. "We need someone with your clarity and grit," she said with a grin. Later, she pulled me aside. "You know, Linda tried to buy your house 3 years ago. Her loan was denied, and she's been bitter ever since." It all clicked. Her vendetta was personal, fueled by envy over a home she couldn't have. Linda was sentenced to 2 years in prison for fraud, embezzlement, and impersonating a public official, plus $75,000 in restitution to the HOA. In court, she screamed, "This is unfair. I was upholding standards." The judge tacked on a contempt charge as she was led away, still claiming to be the victim. My home, once a battleground, is now my sanctuary, and Crestview Heights feels like a true community at last. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more unbelievable real-life tales like this. Thanks for watching.